Welcome back to Hoops Lounge with a show with more ice than George Gervin. My name is Marc Griffin, aka Montreal Marc, joined by my partner in crime, Phil Boileau, supporting Phil. Today we're going to talk Melo. Carmelo Anthony, All-Star Weekend, frozen Toronto. Everyone's saying how cold it is. They don't ever want to go
Frigid.
back. Frank Isola.
Just have a poutine, you'll be fine.
They don't know what that is.
But they should learn.
Sorry,
They should learn.
Frank Isola with the New York Daily News has reported a potential trade, three-way triangle, love triangle, let's call it, between Cleveland, Boston, and New York. What do you think?
Well, we'd have to see who's coming out of Boston, but essentially Kevin Love would be making his way to New York.
Right.
And then we'd have Melo. It's kind of like, why is Boston even involved, I guess, but I guess just financials.
You think Kevin Love would go to New York, not Boston?
Oh, is that where he's supposed?
Well, here's another wrinkle. I'll throw
Another wrinkle?
Yeah, Isaiah Thomas, Boston Celtic Isaiah Thomas, said this weekend that a fellow All-Star that he would not name had approached him about what it's playing like in Boston.
Okay, I get that, but then I don't know if the Knicks are ready to give up on
Was it a
Melo.
player? It might have been a non-All-Star.
Okay, so they haven't named yet who's in this trade.
So
Who's in the
it
potential
could be-
trade.
It could be Kevin Love, theoretically.
Could be Kevin Love. Well, we've heard rumors of Kevin Love in Boston, them kind of rehashing some talks, and
He did go visit Boston last year.
He did go visit Boston.
Seems to like the city. Went
Seems
to
to-
a Red Sox game.
and Boston is oddly a good team. I'm just
Great
wondering
coach.
in terms of that, like that third piece, right? Because Melo to, I don't really love it in Cleveland, but I get it. He's there with LeBron, forced LeBron to play the four full time, which I actually think is great. But he doesn't rebound that well, and
Melo,
yeah, Melo, and not as good of a 3-point shooter as Love.
aging.
And aging, he's older. I just don't get it. Like I think they do this trade almost because they think Love's not working out. They want to bring the super team together.
But Love's playing great lately.
I know, but I just like, you get that feeling that Kevin Love is not their favorite player.
Seems that way.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think
it's a personality thing there too.
yeah, there's that. I get it why Boston would do it. They're trying to collect assets to get that star, and Love just signed a contract, so he's there for 5 years. I get that. I would have to see who's going to New York, because New York seems like they got the short end of the sticks. They don't have Love or Melo, and if you have Kristaps, the only thing I get is if you're rebuilding. So if they can pull back, like, Marcus Smart and maybe an Evan Turner, maybe a couple guys from Boston. Maybe Isaiah Thomas. Exactly, that's not a terrible thing. But the thing is, if you give up him, like, you have to get a three back. And they have enough swings. Like, Boston is essentially just a team of 6 men and glue guys who are just really doing
They're
well.
third in the East right now.
Third in the East. Their coach should win Coach of the Year almost every year in the East. But yeah, I think this is one of those teams that I think we're going to hear Kevin Love's name in trade rumors until he's no longer on that team or until LeBron James retires, because there's always going to be that stigma of LeBron James should be winning. Why is it not happening? And, people like Kyrie Irving a little bit too much. So I don't think Kevin Love gets a fair shot. I'm going to ultimately say, unless the Knicks really get a great package from Boston, it's tough to trade Melo.
Gotta throw this out there too. Melo is one of the few guys in the league that has a no trade clause, so he gets exactly what he wants.
Yeah, but he's gonna waive that to go play with LeBron James. You have to think.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he weirdly regrets staying in Cleveland. I'm sorry, in New York. Like, I remember in the offseason he was debating staying in New York or going to Chicago.
Right.
And
Houston.
Or Houston.
Right.
Houston, I think, would have been a pretty poor fit with Harden. Harden doesn't really like to give up the ball ever. And I think Dwight's complaining about no shots. Carmelo would be worse. But when it comes to the Bulls, I think the Bulls, if they had picked him up, would have been a pretty dirty team. And I think he looks at this team and he sees Kristaps is nice, but he sees kind of the writing on the wall. While Robin Lopez and Flalo are nice players, they don't have quite what it takes to make some noise. And at this point of his career, he's 31 years old.
They have Kurt Rambis coaching.
They have Kurt Rambis. Well, you can take for that how you want, but I think at this point of his career, he really wants a ring, and that'll make him suck up his pride and leave. I mean, look, Kobe will never get traded from LA, but he has his rings. If he didn't have his rings, he may have done something different. Rings speak. This is why a lot of guys change teams. So I'm going to say, I don't know if this trade happens, but I think in the Knicks' best interest, I've been saying for a while, trading Melo makes sense.
Melo, rings, Cleveland, to be